Well, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed the gorgeous flair of culture that we've presented just now. But the day is still very young, as we have one more performance for you from the Sufi team. So, ladies and gentlemen, next, allow us to present to you a performance from our Sufi dancers. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to sincerely welcome the Chairman of the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or Kadin, Mr. Anindya Novian Bakri, and the Minister of Trade of the Republic of Turkiye, His Excellency Professor Omar Bolat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that everyone's doing very well. And welcome to the Indonesia-Türkiye Business Forum, celebrating 75 beautiful years of partnership for the people and for the new world. Let us give Indonesia and Turkey the biggest round of applause. And distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, so to start, allow us to first extend our warmest welcome to the Minister of Trade of the Republic of Turkey, His Excellency Professor Omar Bolat, and the Chairman of the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or Kadin, Mr. Anindya Novian Bakri. Welcome, Your Excellencies. Would also like to welcome the President of the Foreign Economic Relations Board of the Republic of Turkey, Mr. Nail Olpak, and all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we welcome you to the Indonesia-Türkiye Business Forum, celebrating 75 years of partnership for the people and the new world. So ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our dearest organizers, allow us to extend our profound gratitude and sincere thanks to everyone for your participation and for your attendance here today. Kami ingin mengucapkan terima kasih sebesar-besarnya atas kehadiran dan partisipasi Bapak Ibu sekalian di acara hari ini. So ladies and gentlemen, today we'll have a very productive and important session as this prestigious forum serves as an important bridge to further solidify and strengthen our economic and investment relations between Indonesia and Turkey. And today we'll be exploring new collaborations in key sectors, including in energy, in health, manufacturing, defense, as well as infrastructure to further solidify and strengthen the relationship between the two great nations. So without further ado, allow me to invite to the stage Mr. Doğan Karadeniz, the chairperson of the Turkey-Indonesia Business Council at DEG. Let us give him a big round of applause.
Well, that's a very nice photo of me, maybe from 10 years ago. I was really handsome, you see. His Excellencies, Minister of Trade of Republic of Turkey, Professor Ömer Bolat, Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Ibrahim Yumaklı, distinguished guests, and esteemed business people of both countries. As the chairperson of DEIC, Turkey-Indonesia Business Council, it is a privilege to address you today at Indonesia-Turkey Business Forum. We are organizing this business forum on the occasion of our President, His Excellency Recep Tayyip Erdogan's official visit to Indonesia, which marks a significant milestone in strengthening our bilateral ties. This visit further emphasizes our shared commitment to expand our cooperation in these critical sectors. And this forum provides the perfect platform to discuss how we can continue building on with this momentum. Indonesia is a long-standing diplomatic tie since 1950 and will celebrate 75 years of diplomatic relations to elevate our bilateral relations to a higher level next year. Turkey and Indonesia have been strategic partners since 2012. Cultural and historical connections that foster collaboration. In bilateral trade, the two nations have set a target of $10 billion. The historical and cultural closeness of the two nations has not yet been reflected. Our trade volume is still around $2 billion. Building more balanced and sustainable bilateral trade between our countries is one of the key priorities of us. Indonesia's natural resources and Turkey's industrial capabilities, Turkey and Indonesia have the potential to collaborate and contribute to each other's economical growth. Defense, energy, electrical vehicles, green sector and industry, food and agriculture, healthcare and pharma, construction, are potential for us to build upon. And Turkish business people are interested in involving the new capital city project in East Kalimantan, Nusantara. Both countries' relations are scaling new heights, and both countries are exploring new avenues for further cooperation. Indonesia is among the strategic countries designated by the Turkish Minister of Trade in Asia-Pacific region, and bilateral ties have been strengthened by the exchanges between our leaders. Turkish private sector is becoming more active in Indonesia, including our company such as TUSAŞ, Karadeniz Holding, Çelebi, FNSS, Zorlu, Korsa, Arçelik, which are also our members of Turkey-Indonesia Business Council, who have carried out important works in Indonesia. We need an enhanced trade relation and investment flows. Joint ventures and partnerships leverage each other's strength. Sharing knowledge and technology transfer in key industries are important. As Türkiye Indonesia Business Council, we are aiming to support our companies willing to enter Indonesia market in targeted and diverse sectors, to work closely with our counterpart Kadin and other stakeholders such as Apindo, mutual beneficial platforms and gatherings for both countries' business communities. We already agreed to work on potential sectors like defense, energy, food and health. Also planning to organize CEO roundtable meetings in each country every year. To organize more frequent delegation visits to Indonesia and meet with key stakeholders, ministries and institutions for boosting our trade volume and diversify our trade relations. To find ways to collaborate with Indonesia for being an important part of regional and global supply chains in different sectors. Dear guests, I would like to thank you once again for your participation and attention. Terima kasih. Çok teşekkürler. Allah razı olsun.
Thank you very much, Mr. Doğan Karadeniz, for the excellent and insightful opening remarks. And distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, next it is only with the greatest pleasure and honor for us to invite to the stage the chairman of the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or Kadin, Mr. Anindya Novian Bakri, to deliver his remarks.
His Excellency, Trade Minister of Türkiye, Professor Ömer Bolat, thank you for coming to our event. My partner in crime, the EIK, Mr. Nail Alpat, thank you for being a good partner. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, I Gunler Fejos Geldinis. Good afternoon and welcome. It is with great honor and enthusiasm that I welcome you to this Indonesia-Türkiye Business Forum commemorating 75 years of diplomatic relations between our two nations. This milestone reflects our deep-rooted cultural and historical ties that bind us. Our connection dates back to the 16th century, when the Sultanate of Aceh sought assistance from the Ottoman Empire against Portuguese aggression in Malacca. This early interaction laid the foundation for a relationship built on mutual respect and shared values. In times of adversity, we stood by each other. When the tsunami devastated Aceh in 2004, Turkey extended a helping hand to Indonesia. His Excellency President Erdogan, then was Prime Minister, visited Indonesia in 2005, leading efforts to help rebuild the city and communities affected by the tragic event. Similarly, when the devastating earthquake struck Turkey in 2023, Indonesia was quick to respond with humanitarian assistance led by President Prabowo, then was the Minister of Defense. This action demonstrated our solidarity and unwavering commitment to supporting each other in times of need. The friendship between the two leaders we can see very clearly today. Among other times, they had a good meeting, as His Excellency Trade Minister can attest, and the lunch started at 2:30. That's how good the meeting was. Because of the relationship during the difficult times, the Indonesian village in Turkey, inaugurated by the Ambassador Rizal, showcasing the heartfelt efforts of Indonesians to foster friendship with our Turkish neighbors. The bond between our leaders is rock solid, and we have seen that. And what's interesting is that the two leaders have a big and deep love for their people. Having said that, our countries are always at the crossroad of civilizations from time to time. East, west, north, south, offering countless opportunities for collaboration. Today, we both have a unique opportunity to enhance trade and investment, strengthening our role in the global economic landscape. We always learn from our leader, President Prabowo, 1,000 friends are too few, one enemy is too many. Indonesia and Turkey have already established a strong economic relationship, with bilateral trade reaching approximately $2.5 billion in 2023. A remarkable increase from 2020, but I think looking at both sides, it can be much, much more than that, and it can be more balanced, as I heard from a lot of our Turkey counterparts. However, the vast untapped potential is there. Today, we will witness some signing of MOUs, and this morning we have also witnessed in front of the two presidents. We believe what started with a lot of state-owned enterprises will be followed by a lot of companies, private companies, as well as even cooperatives between the two countries. As Chambers of Commerce and Industry in Indonesia, Mr. Minister, it is stipulated by law that all companies, including state-owned enterprises, cooperatives, and private, are under Kadin. And we have 580 regional chambers, and we would like to also grow with this relationship. This momentous occasion highlights just the beginning of what we can achieve together for the ongoing commitment to collaboration and growth between our nations. But we don't stop here. At Kadin Indonesia, we want to do more. This morning, His Excellency, Mr. Minister, we had a good discussion that we should follow up with meetings in 5 different verticals of interest. We spoke about defense, health, infrastructure, and 2 other. And probably every year, as mentioned by my friend Dogan, we should do it in 2 alternative countries. So maybe in September, the 5 leaders, it can be more, should probably meet in, if not Istanbul, maybe Cappadocia. It would be nice. And the following year, maybe in June, we can do it in Bali or Labuan Bajo to see the Komodo dragon, for example. Right? So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to keep it short. I would like to say thank you for all the people involved making this a reality. This is just the beginning. It may sound like a business forum. It is a business forum. But I think here, as we have seen in the past, we're actually rewriting history. Tashakur Aderin. Thank you.
We'd like to thank the chairman of the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or Kadin, Mr. Anindya Novian Bakri, for the incredibly insightful remarks, as well as for always inspiring us to aim with ambition. Thank you so much, Bapak. And ladies and gentlemen, just as Bapak Anindya Novian Bakri had stated, Indonesia truly has so much to see and hear. We are the largest economy in Southeast Asia, as well as the fourth most populous country in the world with 17,000 beautiful islands. You can imagine so much to see and so much to give. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to continue, allow me to also invite to the stage the President of the Foreign Economic Relations Board of Türkiye, or DEG, Mr. Nail Alpak, to deliver his remarks.
Excellency Ministers, Minister of Trade, Professor Dr. Ömer Bolat, Minister of Agriculture, İbrahim Yumaklı, and Minister of Industry, Mehmet Fatih Kaçır, dear Deputy Minister, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear partner, Anin Bakri, of course, our Business Council Chairman, Doğan Karadeniz. I'm really happy to be here after 10 years break, which we were here together, our President, Mr. Erdogan, at 1st of August 2015. So this is somehow maybe unfortunately from our side, we should come together more frequently, but happy to be here together with you. I'm just going to say something because I had prepared my speech normally in Turkish. Now I'm converting it to English and trying to shorten it. As DEIC, we have been running for 40 years. Our motto is business diplomacy. We are working with our business councils. That means mainly country-to-country business councils, such as Turkey and Indonesia Business Council. And we have all over the world 152 business councils. That means this is a great network. And I also want to inform that we are ready to share this great network to our Indonesian friends. Yes, we are speaking about our bilateral trade. Honestly speaking, when we look at two countries' total GDP, it is about 2.6, 2.7 trillion US dollar. Out of that, we are speaking only 0.1% of it. So that means here, there is a main responsibility which belongs to the business community, to my friend, to myself, to Doğan Bey and the others, and of course, our ministers and the leaders are going to open our way. This is what I believe. Let me say a few things, how we can go on this way. When we look at the priorities of ASEAN, green energy, digital transformation, sustainability are some of the main points. So that means we can also focus on these points. This is the first point. The second alternative area is, I believe, the health sector. Apart from the others, in our country, so far, we had managed BOT and PPP projects, which is more than 100 billion US dollar, and some really good part of it belongs to the city hospitals. I believe we can do something together also in this part. Of course, there is another point, it is SEPA agreement, which has been dealing by our Minister of Trade. I believe the result of that negotiation will be benefitable for each other. And let me say a few things about our beautiful country. I say it like that, about Turkey. We consider ourselves the biggest investment, production, and technological hub between China and West Europe. And our total bilateral trade per year is over 600 billion US dollar. So that's great. That means we are active in all the industries, and that is also open for our Indonesian friends. Let's try to do something together, not only here in Indonesia, but also there in our country. I just want to finish my speech with an Indonesian saying, if I can pronounce well. My dear friend did it in Turkish. Our friends say, di mana ada kemauan, di suta ada jalan. So, if you work harder, there is always a way for you. With those, I really thanks to our ministers, to everyone, and thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nail Olpak. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, when there is good purpose, there will be good profit. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our next segment is a very important one, as we'll proceed to several very important MOU and B2B agreements cooperation between Indonesia and Türkiye. So allow me to invite to the stage the CEO of PT Pertamina International Shipping Subholding Integrated Marine Logistics, Yoki Firnandi. The CEO of PT Pertamina Hulu Energi Subholding Upstream Energy, Khalid Said Salim. The General Manager of Thais Shipyard, Doan Bershant. The Director of PT PAL Indonesia, Dr. Kaharudin Jenod. The CEO of PT Dirgantara Indonesia, Marsda TNI Purnawirawan Gita Amperiawan. The CEO of Havelsan, Dr. Mehmet Akif Najar. The CEO of PT Karsa Husada Prima, Abdul Kohar. The Director of Asia Pacific SBC Capital Partners Limited, Albertus Ari Wahyono. The CEO of GAP Inshat, Levans Kaf Kasla. The CEO of Aselsan, Ahmad Akyol. The CEO of PT Republik Indonesia, Norman Yusuf. And the CEO of Korset Roketsan, Murut Ikenci. CEO of PT Republikan Indonesia, Norman Yusuf. And the Secretary of Defense of Industry, Mr. Haluk Gorgun. And also, to capture this great moment, I'd also like to invite to the stage the Chairman of the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Anindya Novian Bakri, and the President of the Foreign Economic Relations Board of Türkiye, DEIK, Mr. Nail Olpak. Gentlemen, we'd like to as well as the Minister of Trade of the Republic of Türkiye, Mr. Omar, we'd like to invite you to please come up on stage and let us capture this great moment with a group photo together. Kepada teman-teman fotografer, kami mempersilahkan Anda untuk mengabadikan momen luar biasa ini. And we'd like to ask everyone to please open the documents to show the documents to the cameras. Gentlemen, we'd like to kindly ask you to please open the documents to show the documents to the cameras. Thank you. And with a great big smile, ladies and gentlemen, as well as we invite the more the merrier. And ladies and gentlemen, let us start our official photo session in 1, 2, 3. And once again in 1, 2, 3. Yes, we'd like to ask everyone to please open the documents to show the camera as we capture this great moment together. Thank you very much, everyone. And let's take one more photo, and in 1, 2, 3. And next, we'd like to ask the Minister of Trade of the Republic of Türkiye, His Excellency Professor Omar Bolat, to please stay on stage for your remarks. And everyone else, you may return to your seats. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, let us give them a big round of applause. Your Excellency, the time and floor is yours.
Terima kasih. Selamat datang, respected Ministers of Industry and Technology and Minister of Agriculture and Forestry of the Republic of Turkey, my dear colleagues, and distinguished Chairman of Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Kadin, Mr. Anin Bakri, and Chairman of Foreign Economic Relations Board of Turkey, Mr. Nail Olpak, and Chairman of Turkish Indonesian Business Council, Mr. Doğan Karadeniz, and distinguished members of the Turkish and Indonesian private sectors, and distinguished press corps, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure for me and our delegation to be in Jakarta, Bogor today at this distinguished gathering, and today was one of the happiest days of all of us from Turkey to be in Indonesia. Our brothers and sisters, led by respected President Mr. Prabowo Subianto and his cabinet and his graceful people, hosted and welcomed us so warmly, and we had wonderful activities, meetings with lots of agreements between the respected ministers of both brotherly, sisterly countries, from foreign affairs to defense, from agriculture to industry, from trade to energy, from religious affairs to cultural affairs, in all fields. Inshallah, all these 12 agreements and many projects which have been discussed today will contribute to the much better and developed relationship between the two brotherly countries. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Kadin, and Foreign Economic Relations Board, DEIC, for organizing this very important event. And we witnessed the contracts signed between the companies of both countries, and we congratulate them and we wish them success in their future cooperation. We are here with extensive participation from the public and private sectors on the occasion of our respected President, Mr. Recep Tayyip Erdogan's visit to Indonesia, upon invitation by the respected President of Indonesia, Mr. Prabowo Subianto. And ministers from both governments held bilateral talks, while our leaders had a long-lasting summit meeting between themselves, and in the end we signed 12 agreements between the two governments at the end of these meetings and the summit. Alhamdulillah, our leaders have a very close collaboration and very close personal chemistry between themselves. Inshallah, the future for both countries and for the economies of both countries seem to be very bright after these agreements will come into force and after the forthcoming business relations between the private sectors. Our relationship with Indonesia is deeply rooted in our commonly shared history, cultural affinity, and a steadfast commitment to the prosperity of our peoples. The agreements and meetings today are a clear sign to this commitment. It is in this spirit of brotherhood that we convene today and to explore pathways for economic growth and cooperation. The two countries, Indonesia and Turkey, have the largest economies in the Islamic world, with Turkey having $1.3 trillion national income and Indonesia having $1.4 trillion national income, thus being among the G20 countries representing the Islamic world, also with Saudi Arabia. And Turkey has total foreign trade of $606 billion in goods trade and $175 billion in services trade. Thus, Turkey and Indonesia have a very big number of total foreign trade. However, our bilateral foreign trade volume doesn't seem to be much. It's just behind $3 billion, demonstrating the immense potential of our partnership in the very near future. This trend reflects the dynamism in certain sectors. This is just a foundation. Today, our leaders put the target of $10 billion annually between the two countries. In order to achieve this target, as ministers, we as ministers and you as the private sectors have to work very hard and to be in cooperation very closely. Today's meeting is an opportunity to listen, learn, and act. Let me highlight some specific sectors where our partnership can thrive shortly, offering practical and mutually beneficial opportunities. Turkey has achieved a great success in the infrastructure and construction sectors in recent years. The Turkish contractors, with 43 biggest contracting companies among the 250 biggest contracting companies in the world, ranks second in the world after the Chinese companies. And they have undertaken and completed construction projects totaling $540 billion in the last 50 years, and 80% of them in the last 20 years during Mr. Recep Tayyip Erdogan's tenure. They can easily achieve projects from infrastructure projects to hospitals, stadiums, roads, highways, airports, seaports, power plants, in all segments of the construction sector, water treatment as well. Turkey, with its vast experience in energy, particularly in renewable energy, solar, wind, and hydroelectric, can be an ideal partner for Indonesia in this field. Joint projects in renewable energy, energy efficiency, and smart energy systems present substantial opportunities for joint cooperation. Turkey, being the largest industrial country among the Muslim world, along with Indonesia, can be a major player in the automotive and machinery and defense industries. We have here the chairman of our Defense Industries Authority, Professor Haluk Görgün, and the CEOs of all state-owned defense industrial companies. Turkey has significant experience in healthcare infrastructure and pharmaceutical manufacturing. Indonesia, with its evolving healthcare system, offers opportunities for Turkish companies to provide technological solutions and pharmaceuticals. Additionally, Turkish health tourism sector can also appeal to Indonesian citizens, fostering bilateral relations in this field. There are also vast opportunities for cooperation in the education sector, as Turkish universities and educational institutions offer valuable opportunities for Indonesian students. We are very glad and proud of having 5,000 Indonesian graduates from the Turkish universities, and they are now our voluntary ambassadors in this lovely, beautiful country. Increasing student exchange and collaboration in the education sector will strengthen ties between our countries, and our President today heralded to increase the number of scholarships for the Indonesian students who want to study in Turkey. Moreover, the tourism sectors of both countries have complementary potential, and collaborative efforts can significantly boost tourist flows between Turkey and Indonesia. Indonesia has a great sympathy among Turkish people as your brothers and sisters, and the number of tourists from Turkey to Indonesia has been increasing year by year. It has reached to 50,000 last year, and we are sure that there will be more, inshallah, tourists from both countries to each other. And today, it has been heralded by our two respected leaders that there will be more frequent flights between the two countries from the two national carriers. In conclusion, there are numerous sectors where Turkey and Indonesia can develop very fruitful cooperation. By focusing on these areas, we can significantly increase our bilateral trade and build stronger economic relations. The meetings which we have had today are very important, and we believe that together we can work towards eliminating trade barriers and creating a robust partnership. Let us capitalize on the momentum of today's discussions to overcome challenges and unlock these opportunities. Political will is at the strongest and highest level. Entrepreneurial spirit and a shared commitment to economic progress are all present in abundance. Now it's upon all of us, from cabinet ministers, public sector, and the private sector, to pave the way for our businesses to foster. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude once again to chairman of both DEİK and KADİN for organizing this wonderful event, business forum, and very warm hospitality and unwavering support for the close cooperation and better economic relations between the two brotherly nations and countries. I would like also to thank my dear colleagues from our cabinet, Mr. Minister of Agriculture and Forestry, Mr. İbrahim Yumaklı, and Mr. Mehmet Fatih Kacar, our Minister of Industry and Technology, for supporting and contributing to this important event. Finally, I wish peace for the world in 2025 and wish you a very happy Ramadan, inshallah. Together, we will build a future of prosperity, peace, resilience, and enduring friendship, and much higher business and trading relationship, inshallah. Thank you very much. Terima kasih.
Your Excellency, we'd like to ask you to please remain on stage. Your Excellency, we'd like to ask you to please remain on stage. And next, allow me to invite to the stage the Chairman of Kadin, Mr. Anindya Novian Bakri, to come up on stage to present the token of appreciation to the Minister of Trade of the Republic of Turkey, His Excellency, Professor Omar Bolat. Ladies and gentlemen, this truly is an incredible, incredible moment celebrating 75 years of partnership between two beautiful, gorgeous nations, Indonesia and Turkey. And let us give them the biggest round of applause. And gentlemen, we'd like to ask you to please remain on stage and allow me to invite to the stage the President of the Foreign Economic Relations Board of DEIK, Mr. Nail Olpak, to come up on stage. And the Chairman of Kadin will present the token of appreciation to the President of the Foreign Economic Relations Board of Turkey, DEIK, Mr. Nail Olpak. And next, allow me to also invite the Chairperson of the DEIK Turkey Indonesia Business Council, Mr. Doan Karadenis, along with the regional heads of Kadin. Izinkan kami untuk mengundang ke atas panggung Ketua Daerah Kadin untuk foto bersama. Kami persilahkan. Yes, allow me to invite to the stage the regional heads of Kadin, the more the merrier, as well as the Minister of Turkey, ladies and gentlemen, the delegates of Turkey, the more the merrier, ladies and gentlemen, celebrating the Indonesia-Türkiye 75 years of partnership for the people and for the new world. Indeed, as our delegates have stated, when there is good purpose, there will be good profits. And let us continue to celebrate, monetize, and capitalize this great moment, this great celebration between the two great nations. Dan kami persilahkan kepada teman-teman media dan fotografer untuk mengabadikan momen ini. And gentlemen, on our count in 1, 2, 3. And once again, in 1, 2, 3. May future collaborations and partnership continue to be fruitful, successful, and everlasting. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for the great session, for the great words and the great remarks. Thank you for always inspiring us to aim with ambition and lead with conviction as we together celebrate the 75 years of partnership, celebrating Indonesia's and Turkey's incredible relationship, highlighting our economic and investment relations and opportunities. And ladies and gentlemen, let us present to you a great glimpse of the Indonesian culture, the angklung performance. Thank you. Well, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to a great end of the Indonesia-Türkiye Business Forum. Let us together continue to celebrate the great years of partnership and celebrate of when there's good purpose, there will indeed be good profits. Thank you so much for all the delegates and for all the officials for gracing your presence with us today. And may you have a great rest of the evening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.